Hello ladies and gentlemen and welcome to the School of Science. My name is Luke and this is the Everton Stadium update for the 25th of May 2024. Now, going over the site today, there is updates and everything. We can actually see one already with the West Stand and whatnot, but there's other little bits here and there as well I'd like to mention, and I do a few little zoom shots here and there just for you to enjoy and actually catch. So as we go over it right now, first thing you're going to see is the East Stand now has more barrel cladding on. So this is the northeast little corner. So what I can see right now, this is actually kind of contradictory to what I've been told. I thought that they weren't going to continue with the barrel cladding on this particular area until the roof was pretty much done. And from what I can see on the East Stand right now, the roof isn't exactly done. So I'm a little bit confused on that one. Don't get me wrong, I'm happy to see more cladding because it's a nice little benchmark that we can actually look at and you can actually see up close, you know, like to say, hey, this is actually a new video and he isn't just recycling some of his old crap. But yeah, this is the thing that's confusing me. Also, as you can see right here, now that we're at the southeast corner, that's pretty much reached its peak until things progress on, as we know. But yeah, one thing as well I've mentioned there, and I did mention, I'm not sure whether I mentioned in the previous video or one of the other videos prior, if you've probably noticed, the roof seems a little off kilter in the sense of the south stand's like sort of gap between, you know, south to east or however you want to look at it is actually bigger than it is to the north, and it actually shows when you look at the cladding. There's a few more rows to the south side of the east points to the south side of the north, to the east side of the north points, if you get me, if you get where I'm coming from on this. Do apologise for this one. It is very late. I am currently hyped up on coffee, so this one is going to be, it might potentially be a little bit all over the place, but hey, just sit back and enjoy the ride. But yeah, as we're going over right now across the Fan Plaza, one thing I've particularly noticed, not just the pavement slabs going in, but you probably notice it right now. So the old turrets that are outside of the dock itself, they've actually got some guys working on them. So I do actually zoom in a couple of seconds, and when we do zoom in, we can actually see them doing a lot of work. And I'm curious what they're doing to them. I'm not sure whether they're just making them safe and filling them in, because bear in mind, those turrets were actually hollow. So inside those things were actually used, I believe it was actually a gate person. So it was actually a gate person that was inside of them. So as we zoom in right now, they are actually doing work on them. I'm not too sure what the work actually is, but like I said, it could just be showing them up. They do need to remove that little bit of shrubbery as well, so whenever they get to that, that would be great. Get rid of that shrubbery, get the thing looking nice again. Now, if it was me doing this, and obviously it's not me doing this, would it be worthwhile looking at maybe potentially doing an alteration to it to try and make it look a little bit like the old Prince Rupert Tower? Maybe, you know, that could be something that we could probably do, you know, make it a little bit more thematic for the stadium. And I mean, if they do it so that it actually looks a little bit different and everything, and something that's easily removable, that could not really affect the whole, you know, listed building thing. You make a small alteration, but still honor the majority of the shape, if you know what I mean. You know, nudge, nudge, wink, wink. But yeah, as we go across the East Stand, there isn't too much in terms of seating updates and everything. I think they've reached the finishing point for the seats at this point in time. I'm going to assume this is the case. This might change over the course of the near future. I think right now the main focus is the rail seating for the South Stand. So right now that's come to a bit of a pause. And likewise with the pitch side as well, that seems to have come to a pause. I'm assuming that's more down to the fact that the weather is not exactly playing ball right now. Apologies about that. But yeah. So, going across the South Stand, I've actually got it fairly low at this time round, so I do try and get low just so we can actually see a little bit more in terms of detail. Right now though, not too much going on. Most of these machines haven't even moved from last week to this week, so I'm assuming, again, this is another piece that's probably on pause. This might just be down to the fact that a lot of the work that's going on inside is probably taking priority versus what's going on out here. But bear in mind, a lot of the workers on site are more speciality than anything. They have got quite a few just general hammer hands and labourers. But the ones who are more specialised and everything, they're probably off doing other things. Hence, like work going on the west stands as well as the stairway and everything. These could be the same guys that work on, the paving slabs on the south stand and whatnot. But yeah, speaking of what's going on right now on the inside, so one of the big things is they are currently working on the dressing room as well as the hydrotherapy pool that is in the home dressing room. Now, obviously, the away dressing room won't be getting that much of a luxury. In all honesty, I would probably be happy to give the away dressing room more of an outhouse feel. Make it as hard as possible for the away team to get a result here, because we can't be giving them any form of advantage whatsoever. Single outlet, maybe a water cooler that doesn't actually, cool water. Make it lukewarm, to say the least. Make things as hard as possible for any away team coming to the stadium. We can't be giving them any form of luxury. But yeah, looking over the site right now, I do actually zoom in there. So we've just zoomed in now. You can actually see the rail seating and everything, and you can actually see how they've got it placed out. So I'm expecting there's going to be 2 seats between each one of them rail pieces, because looking at the gapping and everything, it could even be 3. Either that, or we'll see it probably closer to when it's done. Now, bear in mind, these rail seatings are just metal frame seating. It's not exactly going to be the most comfortable thing in the world, I will say that for nothing. But to be honest, I'm someone who sits in the lower Gladys on match days. We stand up in the lower Gladys. So that rail seating and everything is all well and good and everything, but it's more for half-time, pre-match and all that sort of stuff. It's not something that we're going to be sitting on for 90 minutes, to say the very least. Apologies. Again. But yeah, as we go over the west stand right now, having a little look around things, there's a little bit of an update and everything. So the paving slabs that are right down there, they've pushed along rather nicely, and it's interesting to see. So you can actually see the little half steps as well. So I'm curious about that one. I don't remember seeing them in the renders or anything like that, but chances are I've probably just missed them. So you can see the little half steps there, so that's a little bit more better for people who are not as, agile or mobile. Makes it a little bit easier for them to get up the steps and whatnot. I can imagine myself doing the big leaps just to get across them steps, because I'm assuming those actual normal steps are massive. Kind of similar to how if anyone's ever been to Liverpool 1, if you go into Liverpool 1, then big steps, you've got them, and then you've got the little ones off to the sides. If you ever try and walk up the big steps, it is quite a freaking challenge, to say the least. But yeah, and regarding to the barrelclad and everything, it is coming along rather nicely. So the south stand on the southwest corner is pretty much all done and dusted. Likewise with the northwest corner, so it's right now just a middle piece, similar to how it is on the east stand. But right now, as we look on the inside as well, I want to point something out just here. There's not too much of a divide. When you go from like the north, if you look at the northwest, you'll see a small, I say a small, you'll see a decent sized wall there on the northwest corner. So that's to divide the away and home fans, obviously. But you don't see that around the rest of the stadium. So your south stand to your east stand, there's no massive wall there. Apologies, I keep yawning. I'm sorry, I'm the coffee's not doing anything. It's disappointing. But yeah, as I was saying, so the east stand to south stand, I don't see a wall there. To the north and to the east, you don't see anything there. It's purely just the away fans that are enclosed off from the rest of them. So it's a bit of a weird one there, because if anyone's ever been to Goodison, basically the Gladys Street to the Bullens end, there's a decent sized little fence there to stop people from jumping over and going into the other side. Likewise with the park end to the family enclosure, decent little piece there. But I'm getting a little bit off topic, aren't I? Sorry. But yeah, looking over right now, so we've got the outside of the west stand and obviously the media centre there. It's interesting to see the car park where it is right now. It's a surprisingly big car park. Bear in mind, I'm fairly high up here. I'm about 100 metres up in the air. So, looking down on that right now, that car park itself, that will hold a fair amount of cars. But the only thing is, What is matchday parking going to be like? Now, I'm going to tell you this one right now. If anyone goes by where the Titanic Hotel is, if you carry on up that road, between Regent Road and the next road, there is a very, very large car park there. That will more likely be the matchday car park. And anyone who's actually got a bit of, moolah behind them and gets advantage of some of the empty plots around there, you can take advantage of them and make them into car parks. So matchday parking, similar to how they've got it right now at Goodison, £10, £15 per car, and have a few people working around there. You could more than likely do that, get a couple of hundred cars into them little spaces, and make a nice little wedge every match day. So that's something we could probably look at to take advantage of. But yeah, going over the North Stand right now, this isn't too much of an update, as we know. The main thing right now is more just paving out, laying out everything I have yawned. I'm sorry, it is really late tonight. I am so sorry for all this yawning. But yeah, going over the North Stand right now, on the Everton video, and also a quick one as well. Whoever is doing the music for the Everton video, please try and sort out with that music. God damn it! I'm not having a bad nitpick or anything like that, but you go from a really chill melody to the lo-fi music. It's a mad little change, and it's not a great one, to tell you the God's honest truth. So try and sort that out. Whoever's doing the Everton videos, I'm sorry, I need to mention that one because I was listening to it, and the sudden abrupt change in the music was enough to make me pause the video, thinking there was something playing in the background, and I had to sort of scooch back to go again with the music. But yeah. Also, just very quickly right now, I'm just looking into the North Stand right now, and you can see where the away fans' little corner is, and there's a big chunk where the vehicle access is. I'm assuming on match days that might get covered. If anyone can actually mention about that one, I'm assuming there's going to be a scaffolding piece or something that'll be put in, and seats will get put in temporarily so that you're not missing out on potential seats. There's got to be something about that. Anyway, guys, take care. Peace.